What up, folks? Bring you another one. Now, this one I'm calling people need to start taking accountability. Now, this one's going to be leaning more towards like the older generation, maybe like the baby boomer or whatnot. But a lot of people do not like taking accountability for their actions. And it's crazy because I'm like, I mean, it's going to be mixed up with some politics talk too, because I'm using it as some reference points. But the thing I'm making here is my dad, for the last 4 years when Trump was in the house, my dad would call me about every time he did something my dad never agreed with or liked. So I'm like, okay. But he would never call me like, oh yeah, you know what, this was a good thing, I actually like this bill or whatnot. He would never call and tell me that. He will only call and tell me when it's something bad. I'm like, dude, you know that no president is all bad, right? Sometimes they do some all right shit. But he will never call and tell me that with Trump in the house. I'm like, dude, that is crazy. So now that Biden's in the house, or I call him Racist Joe, I said, you know he's doing this, that, and that, right? Oh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I mean, you don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. He's not doing anything wrong. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? How is he not doing nothing wrong? But I said, why don't you keep the same energy you had when Trump was in the house with Racist Joe in the house? I mean, come on now. You got to keep the same energy. But that older generation, they just stuck in their ways that they take no accountability. And a lot of that accountability done fucked us up in the future because some folks, they just stuck in their parents' way. Like, if their parents say it this way, that's the only way it goes. So guess what they do? The same thing. Well, that was kind of confusing. Basically, they do the same shit. Basically, whatever they say goes. There's no room for improvement, no room for error. It's just whatever they say is black and white, no turning around. I'm like, that is crazy. How the hell can you live and think that way? You got to have an open mind to some kind of discussion sometimes, because this person is not always right. There's no such thing as a perfect president. They all have blood on their hands. They're all gonna fuck one person over the next. But I don't get it, man. But it's just that generation. You cannot tell them shit. Even when the facts is right in front of their face, the truth, they will still not admit that what you say is truth. And that is just crazy. I'm like, sometimes folks, when y'all vote or whatever, sometimes you might have to go to the other side and just see what's going on the other side. Because sometimes the other side might be benefiting you compared to the side you've always been with. But that's just not how people think. They're not programmed that way. They're just programmed one way as the only way. And I think that's the most dumbest and craziest way of thinking. But that's just the older generation. That's their excuse of not taking accountability. They're just, even when they're wrong, they're going to still say they're right. And that's a lot of people's fault right there. I'm not I'm not scared to say I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I would tell you I am wrong and I fucked up. That's just how I am. I'm not ashamed of being wrong. Because guess what? When I'm wrong, I know I could improve to do better. But if I just continue to say I'm right, and no one corrects me, or no one says, hey, you know, you messed up here, I'm going to get big-headed, and then no one can tell me shit. And that's just how the older generation been. They just always say they're right, even when they're wrong. That is just the craziest way of thinking, man. I know some of y'all probably have parents like that, or even not just parents, people in general. You probably know they're like that. They're just so freaking stubborn and naive that anything you say, they just don't want to believe it because it goes against their way of thinking. And if it goes the way they're thinking, that means they done fucked up somewhere in life, and they don't want to take that accountability again. Because now it's like, damn, are you trying to tell me the whole way I've been thinking been wrong? Yes, motherfucker, it has been. But anyway, I ain't going to talk y'all head off. Keep pushing through the bullshit. Peace.